welcome to another special composer's edition of World History Report. I'm Arthur, and I'll be your host for the program. And today we will talk about an American avant-garde composer, John Cage, who was born in Los Angeles on September 5th, 1912. Avant-garde, a French phrase meaning at the forefront of experimentation and innovation, and the title perfectly suited John Cage. He is probably the most known for his composition 433, which consists of 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. The score having the Latin word for silence 3 times. Passit, passit, passit. Cage was partially inspired by a trip to Harvard University's anechoic chamber, a room designed to absorb all sounds, and by his painter friend Robert Rauschenberg's series of white paintings. 433 received its first performance in Woodstock, New York, on August 29, 1952. Critics did not know what to think of it. Here's what John Cage himself wrote after the premiere. They missed the point. There's no such thing as silence. What they thought was silence, because they didn't know how to listen, was full of accidental sounds. You could hear the wind stirring outstanding during the first movement. During the second, raindrops began pattering the roof, and during the third, the people themselves made all kinds of interesting sounds as they talked or walked out. He also coined the term prepared piano, and it is something very different from what you imagine it to be. It's not the piano perfectly tuned and dusted, ready for a grand performance. The piano is prepared by having items placed inside the case on the strings. Sounds like a trick someone would play on a non-suspecting musician, isn't it? No wonder many people considered John Cage a prankster and did not take him seriously. The items in a prepared piano could range from nuts to bolts to bells, spoons, or sheets of metal. John Cage took it even further, and it's something that I bet every kid will totally get. He wrote compositions for ordinary items. Cabaret contemporains, largely percussive program. We all have percussion, don't we? Features the piece Living Room Music, a 1940 composition for a quartet of instruments you can find in the living room of pretty much any house. Cage instructs the performers to use any household objects or architectural elements as the instruments, and gives examples. Magazines, cardboard, largish books, floor, wooden frame of window. The first and the last movements are percussion music for said instruments. The third movement is optional. It includes a melody played by one of the performers on any suitable instrument. I think we will attempt performing it tonight. Why don't you? I would like to conclude with the quote from John Cage that I liked. I can't understand why people are frightened of new ideas. I am frightened of the old ones. John Cage. Whether or not we agree with or like his particular take on music, we can learn from his passion for innovation. Thanks for watching, and as always, join us again for another WHR.